Okay then, here we go. Watch this kind of odd video about this person's creative journey, and I don't really know what I was supposed to take out of it. I think he wanted it to be inspiring, like, ooh, let this be inspiration to you, but it was not inspiring. He was basically talking about all the struggles that he's had in life and trying to pursue his adventures in his own way and the problems that he's faced because of it. And it's interesting because everyone's pursuit of the world is different. The way in which I might pursue things is different than how he might pursue things. And it would be precisely more interesting if both of us had already made our mark on the world, but we hadn't. And so then the idea would be like, neither of our methods have proven to work just yet. One could say that they haven't proven to not work either, but I feel like that's a harder thing to prove because until you've succeeded, there's no way to know which method brought you success. And better yet, success could have come ultimately from a combination of methods and not just from the one thing that you did. And so it's interesting to me that we measure our success by a singular thing, because that may very much so not be what we have to attribute to it. He's had the chance to do some very interesting things and very interesting work over his years, but it has been ultimately inconsistent and not abundantly successful. But then again, it pokes the bigger question at what is the level of success that he wants to accomplish. Like, I personally want to be able to create something that entertains an audience. And, like, I don't need an audience of thousands and thousands of people. As long as I have a consistent audience of a decent chunk of people who look forward to watching and experiencing my content, whichever form of my content it is, that is enough for me to be happy. And I think that everybody has their own success goals. We're all doing our own things. And so for our success to hinge on these predetermined things that we've given ourselves, I think it's important as someone who is chasing a bigger thing, a bigger dream, that we do our best to pursue it reasonably. And you do have to bite it off in chunks, because if you want to get the whole kit and caboodle all in one time, not only is it not possible, you're just gonna drive yourself crazy and disappoint yourself to the end of the world. And that is not a good way to exist. So instead, what I would say is you really ought to do your best to try and how do I put it? You've got to do your best to try and know where you're going, but also know how to get there. And that maybe seems very simple, very cliche, very whatever, what have you. But I think that it is underrated in just how important it is. Saying that I want to go do X, Y, and Z is very different than going and doing it. And that's why it's important to know, like, okay, my ultimate goal here is to go and eat the greatest hamburger. Now, how am I going to get there? Maybe the greatest hamburger is in New York, and you have to plan a trip to New York and then figure out what else you're going to do, because who goes to New York just for the greatest hamburger? It's a bad example, but it's the idea of knowing what your goal is, but also knowing how to get there. Because anyone can say, I want to be the next Logan Paul on YouTube, and then what? Like, where do you start? Where do you begin? If you don't know where you're going or your direction or where you're headed, then you're destined to just kind of flounder around for a while. It's interesting because I'm in this YouTube group, and it's not, we're supposed to be doing these weekly calls, but we had like 4 people in the last one. My biggest thing is trying to get people to know me, because I think that the only way that people are going to ever care, especially about these videos, the only way that people are going to ever care about these videos is if they get to know me. And generally speaking, anyone that I've met in person, I get along with. Like, I get along really well in person with people. These over-the-camera interactions don't happen to capture my personality quite as well, because I'm not talking to someone directly. I'm talking to the camera. Everybody always says, they're like, just pretend like your camera is a buddy or a friend or whatever. But like, a good chunk of our social skills plays off or leans on playing off of what other people are saying. This camera is not responding to me when I say things, so I just need to carry on the conversation with myself, which tends to turn into just an informational thing, which is fine. I'm not opposed to making informational pieces, but it's just interesting to me that that is where this lands. I am interested in figuring out what I can do to get to my goals. And I think one of the biggest and most interesting things there is for me right now is this idea that I will be wrapping up the 24/365 video challenge. I'd like to say here soon, but like, I've still got to get through all of September and then all of October, November, December. So yeah, I've still got 4 months worth of it to do. So maybe if I'm lucky, I might be done by October, because if I keep up my current upload thing, I can usually pull 2 days ahead of the current month. And like right now it's like the 8th, and I've got through the 14th of the following month, so almost more than double the amount of film. And so what I need to do at this point is continue to push on that, and with any luck I would continue to make videos on the weekends that would assist me in being able to continue to push on that. And then hopefully at the end of this year I can start making the more heavily edited, more concentrated videos that I hope to make next year. and I might go for a weekly release instead of a daily release. The daily release schedule has been extremely restrictive in the fact that I don't have time to actually sit down and edit a video every day and upload a video every day. And so because of that, I have lost a great deal of my viewership. These videos get a very pathetic amount of views and a very uninterested amount of views, and that is because I am just uploading crap, and I'm more or less doing it for myself at this point, just to say that I did. It's important, I think, to do those things. People get so wrapped up in producing what they know works on YouTube that they miss the idea or the concept of being original. And those people are the people who tend to share the biggest successes on anything, really. If you can stand out in a good way on a platform, like standing out in general is good, but if you can stand out in a positive light on a platform, then you've got pretty much what you need to succeed. But a lot of people get so hung up on following other people's strategies, doing what other people have proven to work, that they lose sight of being original. And I've even fallen victim to that. This whole video series, this whole 24 365 video challenge came from me discovering how successful Sam Sulek has been. And so what I did was, I was like, okay, well, if this guy can be super successful with super simple videos, and it wasn't just him, there's several other people who are experiencing a lot of great success with little to no video editing or high concept things. And the end of the day there, I was like, okay, it was like, I can do that. I can upload videos. I can talk to the camera. I can make this work. Well, unfortunately, I cannot. And the reason why it's working for them is because it was something so unique. Now there's especially in the fitness niche, but there's an entire group of people now who are making videos with little to no editing, hoping to jump on this bandwagon. And I am just another one of those people at this point. So the ultimate hope here would be that I can find something unique to me that I can succeed on. And there is an audience for these things out there, and I just need to do what I need to do for me, and I need to focus on what I can reasonably accomplish. If I can edit together one video a week, that would basically be every weekend I edit together one video, and then see how far that gets me. Now, the whole driving thing, I will probably still maintain this, simply because I feel like it's a good exercise for me to have. It also gives me a lot of content to work with, and that is something that I think is valuable as I explore the idea of putting out a video every week instead of every day. I'm still sure that I will run into struggles because editing it's time consuming. It takes time. And unless it's something I'm really passionate about and I really want to do, chances are It's not going to be immediately fruitful, and it's not going to be easy to motivate myself to do it. But if I, for example, were to finish this challenge in October, and then if I committed the rest of this year to getting ahead, even if I did one video a week from October, November, December, we're going to say that's 4, 8, 12 weeks. That's 12 weeks ahead that I will be. And that's a pretty good head start. It's absolutely what I needed walking into this challenge. I was several months ahead walking into this challenge, and I've lost so much time that I'm now barely a month ahead of myself. But I'm starting to pick up the pace again. I'm starting to pick up the speed, and all I really need to do is maintain, and then if I can start filming stuff over the course of the weekends, like even if it's just one video on Saturday, one video on Sunday. I did the whole meat video when I made my brisket, or whatever the video is. That would help me pull ahead as well, and then get this 24/365 wrapped up, and then from there start on whatever comes next. And it's unfortunate because the 24/365 challenge did start out as a much more ambitious project. I think part of the struggle here is it's literally just me driving to work, talking to the camera. And I've said it before, but until I am someone famous that the whole world cares about, these videos aren't going anywhere. And it was that realization that helped me kind of accept the fact that I was not going to be getting what I wanted out of this. But most importantly, because it wasn't my content, I was trying to emulate someone else's success. And I do not have what Sam Sulek has, or what these other YouTubers who are succeeding in this low content or low effort content niche have. And that's okay. Like I said, we'll find our own unique place on the internet. I don't have to blend in with everybody. I don't have to be where everybody else is. Though I would like to share in the success. There's this kind of unknown animation channel that YouTube keeps suggesting to me on my Compression Man channel, because Compression Man is an unknown handmade animation, and they are telling me, or this channel that they're showing me has like 1 million plus views every time they launch something, which is huge. I was like, I didn't know that was for sure possible, but now that I know that it is, it's encouraging. So, at any rate, I thank you for stopping by per the usual. Hope this conversation wasn't absolutely dreadful, and I will catch you next time.